Carl, today we're going to be talking about a place with no electricity, pretty poor conditions.
Oh, people stuck in their homes.
Yeah.
Just a lot of children without parents, you know? It was more like City of Denver.
That's right, the city of Denver. Fuck you.
That's right, City of Denver, we're putting you on roast tonight. We're putting you on trial. How does it feel?
The roast of Denver. If you're listening in Denver, get the fuck out of there. One-way ticket to Cleveland is the neighboring city, I assume.
Find the map. Get out of there. You can do it.
My name's Oscar.
My name is Carl, and this is Who Would Watch This?
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about the City of Ember, which currently has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 54%, a Letterboxd rating of 2.8, and an IMDb score of 6.5. Oscar, what's the plot?
For generations, the people of the city of Ember have flourished in an amazing world of glittering lights. Ooh. But Ember's once powerful generator is failing. And
Like, that's offensive?
Yeah.
Too soon?
Is falling, and great lamps that illuminate the city are starting to flicker. Now, two teenagers in a race against time must search Ember for clues that will unlock the ancient mysteries of the city's existence before the lights go out forever. Chilling.
All right, Oscar, and to get through today's episode on the City of Ember, we've brought in an expert.
That's
from
right.
the film. Who have we got today, Oscar?
I do believe it's the star of City of Ember.
Hi, my name's Saoirse Ronan.
You nailed
I
it.
apologise.
You nailed it.
I'm from Dublin.
Ruby's going to be joining us on the podcast. She has read the entire book in
I
preparation.
did. I read it today, so it's real fresh in my
How
mind.
many pages is it?
It is around 270, so like all good books, you can smash it out in an afternoon.
That's right. You love a good book that it's like, oh, good. Even if I finish this, I'll feel nothing.
It's great to kind of like be there and done with it in an afternoon. So you read it and then you never think about it again.
And then you immediately revisit it in visual.
and you immediately watch the film
And then you
afterwards.
immediately
I'm a bit
start
City of
talking
Ember out today.
Oh, good. Well, we're doing
But
for an
I
hour.
do love it, so it's exciting for me.
Considering also it's not like you're constantly pumping through books. This is like your book of the last, like, it's like, what book have you read recently? And you just have to, everybody have to be like, City of Ember.
For a whole year.
For a full year, you had Big Little Lies.
I'm not a reader.
So you had a smart one, but now it's City of Ember.
Oops. Maybe I should just get into reading purely to like strike my record. I think that's all I have to do at this point.
What could you follow it up with? You're like,
there's a sequel.
So-
Don't stress.
You ever heard of City of Ember? You're the second one.
City of Denver.
That's harrowing.
They couldn't get out of there.
The lights turned off and it got bad.
All right, Oscar, shall we go back in time to before we had seen City of Ember and we tried to predict who we thought would watch us? All right, Oscar, so next week we're watching the City of Ember, a big classic among kids. We've got a special guest. Ruby's going to be on the episode.
Ciao.
Ruby,
This is my movie.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to make you both watch this.
you're considering reading the book, aren't you?
I think I'm going to have to. I've looked it up. It's not too long, and I just want to make sure that I'm the City of Ember expert as we go into next week.
You want to live and breathe.
The City of Ember.
The City
I
of
assume
I want to
it's
be like
called
an
that.
Emberite.
What is it, a trilogy?
I believe it is, but it's basically like City of Ember is the first book, and it was super popular. And then they were like, well, we're going to just make YA fiction, so we'll just do City of Ember. And then the movie tanked, which is a crime, but we'll get to that. And so they completely scrapped the idea for the next two books.
So how old were you when you saw this? Because I've never seen this before. I know the poster. I think the poster was like famous for like a young teenage crowd. But you're like, look at her hanging off a cliff.
That was in a K-Zone magazine. It's the centerfold.
Oh my god.
Centerfold.
Saoirse Ronan hanging off a cliff.
Look at her cliff.
Bit of-
Wow.
Bit of leg action.
The
Ooh.
White Cliffs of Dover, if you ask me.
Bend over. Uh-oh.
She's a child.
I remember when I put that up on my wall, my parents were like, take that down. You know it's going to be bad, Carl.
Put up the Clifford poster from 2021. That's right, the film's out now.
Oh, my parents love the... Have you seen how cute that dog looks? It's red.
Oh, he's red. He's gorgeous. He's a dream. I think I watched the film when I was like maybe 11. sort of thing. So I'm excited to revisit it and just see, because I loved it. I remember loving it. It was a romp, a fast-paced action romp from start to finish.
And have you seen it again since you were 11?
I made Oscar watch it maybe about 2-3 years ago and enjoyed it thoroughly so.
It boiled my blood, and we created this podcast for this. I'm very glad we can recapture it.
We're talking origin story.
Oh, yeah.
All you wanted was backup. You were like, I'm going to create a podcast.
Yeah.
Because Carl's not going to watch it.
And he'll be vicious. He'll be mean to you. He'll be very cruel.
Look, it's one of those things. I'm sure nostalgia is fueling a lot of my love for this film, but at the same time, fight me. It's amazing.
I flat out don't know the plot. I know Saoirse Ronan's in it. I think Tim Robbins is in it. Like,
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
I'm convinced that's the entire cast.
And
like,
the grandma from the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory who said, I like grapes. She's in it too.
I love it because she also says it like this. She's like, I love grapes.
She had
Also
a
the final film before her death.
Oh. I was going to say she had a cracking year. What happened to her? Her demise.
She got stuck in the city of Ember.
The lights went out. Figurative and literally.
She's a method actress. Who do we think this is going to
Carl,
be for?
we've seen it. Who do you think it's for?
Who do I think it's for?
Off the racy, so the sexy poster alone.
I think it's for parents who are just like, look, I know that you want to rent that now, but that's an overnighter and that's expensive. So
Yeah.
you wait for the weekly, and then you may watch it on a Friday night when we have gone out for dinner, okay? And
Were
we'll
you
leave
there at my childhood?
Do you know the feeling of not being allowed an overnighter?
Oh
but then they
my
give it because the parents are
God.
like, oh no, we're keen for this one. You're like,
Yeah. The
Well,
moment
you
when you
guys-
would show them a movie and you got to like a nod, incredible.
I would put my hand over if it was an overnighter, and they're like, yeah, we're into it. We'd really like to see it. And I'm like, uh-oh, 660 for 24 hours. Can we afford it?
That's
My
crazy.
parents' rule was I had to bring it back. But our video
Off
shop
the
was a
wasteland.
while away, so I was a long walk
You had to
from me.
hoist it around your shoulder.
That's crazy. I was only allowed the weeklies. They didn't even. They said don't even look at
Really?
the one night, the 3 night, only
Guess
5.
our parents just loved us more.
Yeah, they did, and they had money. But hey, here's what the podcast is for. It's for
Here's
the
the
coin.
my parents also love what they can't have. So if there's an overnighter, it's like a challenge. They're like, oh, what do you mean we can't watch Notes on a Scandal every day for a full week?
It's a great film.
Fuck it, we'll watch it 7 nights in a row with an overnighter, baby!
Judi Dench nails that role. Honestly, I think this movie was made for me. I am its target audience.
What is that?
Just
Is it you, but in the situation I just explained?
I think so. I think it's for children trying to make their parents get an overnighter. Like, I think that's what this is.
They're playing nobody's going to see this in cinemas, but when it gets out into a video easy and people can only see it for a night, it's going to go
that's the
bonkers.
revenue.
Oh,
Not our revenue, but their revenue.
I remember when Twilight came out as an overnighter and you couldn't get a copy.
100%.
And do you
And
also
like that was
remember-
the same for all of the Twilights. And by the time the last ones came out, kind of Video Easy was a dead format.
Yeah.
But at the start, you couldn't get it.
So I was over in Western Australia and I had read the book, and I didn't get to see it in the cinema. So I was like, I want it, and Dad was like, we went to the Video Easy, and the Video Easy thing is like, rent it now or rent it free at Video Easy. So if they
Yeah.
don't have it, you get to rent it free the next day.
Powerful.
They did not have it, and Dad was like, well, my son's coming back tomorrow.
To get that
And
Twilight.
he's going to get it for free.
So one time your dad's like, this is, I'm taking a stand.
Yeah, I'm taking it. This is what you earn. You never let people push you around saying you don't get it for free.
You rent it now,
or you rent it
free.
Does it not say Video Easy?
We're not at Civic. We're at Video Easy.
We're a Video Easy family.
This isn't a petrol station down the road that has a few. This is Video Easy.
We're not that movie box. You remember those? Don't remember the name, but they're a thing.
We're not a Video Easy movie box. That's right. You don't even get it on DVD. It's a shell, a case, if you will, of just and a robot arm hands it out to you.
Oh, I hated them because you couldn't just get what you wanted. You had to like scroll, and then there's a line behind you. Like you can't enjoy the
A
video.
line?
Yeah, there used
There
to
is
be
a
a
line.
Round the block for Twilight.
No, there was, because I remember I used it once to get one of the Bridget Jones's films.
Was it Baby? Tell me,
I
was
think
it
it was
Baby?
Baby. And the machine took my money. And there was a line, and I was like, guys, nobody touch it. I'm gonna go get somebody from the Woolworths that's sitting in to help me get the DVD out. So I had to go and get a clerk that probably would have been the same age as me, also would have been clueless. It's probably like they've got to call a number to come fix it. I drag him all the way over. The DVD's there, it's out. It's waiting for me to be picked up. I basically walked him over to be like, I'm watching Bridget Jones's Baby. What are your thoughts?
Is that weekly or is that a day?
I love that it meant the person behind me could have stolen the DVD for free, and they were
everyone
like,
was like, nah, not Bridget
they're
Jones.
like, oh, Hugh Grant didn't even come back for it. What do you mean, Patrick Dempsey?
Maybe Diary, not Baby.
Not even the edge of reason. Ah.
It was actually Judy.
Put it back.
But I'm so excited to force you both to watch City of Ember.
Ruby, what is this film about?
Okay, so
This is $55 million film with two people doing an escape room.
Look, so it's a tragic tale, but it's also thrilling and
It's
enthralling.
not a tragedy. Where's the tragedy?
They're stuck underground. What do you mean?
They're safe. They're safe. That's.
So we start with a beautiful montage of the builders, who are these almighty people.
I'm going to throw... The builders are Jesus. The builders...
This is an allegory.
The way they talk about... They're like, the builders will come again and they'll save us. And I was like, oh no.
But we're shown the builders. They're a bunch of
we get
old
shown
men.
the builders. It's just a bunch of... And the book goes deeper into it, but that's the last thing revealed into it. So we'll get there. But so we start the film with the builders telling us that they created the city of Ember because obviously something's happened to humanity that they cannot live above the surface anymore. So they essentially send people down underground and set up this city for them with anything they could ever want for. But it's been a couple years and things are in disrepair, to say the least.
If that's a theme, it's there.
But the other thing we have to note is the first mayor of Ember was given a beautiful box that was set to open 200 years in the future, and it contained the instructions on how to leave Ember.
They also fucking eyeball it. They're like, we'll give it 200 years. Basically, when it's like, will the radiation be gone? I don't know.
They open the window, saw a fucking monster out there, like, oh, it's 20 years.
A guy licks his finger, puts it up to the window, and is like, about 200 should do it. That's what it feels like. This fucking... I've got a lot of issues. Most of my notes are about what this... I'm going to say it right now. Why is the box so big considering it holds paper? It's chunky.
A paper, a thin card.
Well,
a
you'd
thin
think
card.
it's so that it would never get lost, but joke's on them, it gets lost.
Oh.
But so the backstory that I have that is not shown in the film is that the reason that the 7th mayor loses the box is because essentially he was a junkie who was trying to cram his way into the box because he thought there was goodies inside there. So he took it out of the mayor's office and was trying to pry it open at home to try and get whatever treats lay inside. And then he dropped dead of a heart attack during this session of
That's comedy gold because maybe
But it also
it says there's a war or something.
I know.
Oh my God.
It's weird. You
That should be
assume
the
he's
story.
been murdered or something. As if somebody hasn't murdered him for the... It honestly comes off more like the fact he's a type 2 diabetic and he's hoping there's jelly beans inside to try and keep the sugar levels right, and yet he's died.
But instead there's a PCP crisis in Ember.
It was very dark. It did look grim. They all look a bit smelly.
They're like, hey, Mr. Drug Dealer, can we get any more crack? And he's like, all that's left is this box that's supposed to open in 60 years now.
We don't know what's in it. I can only assume the strongest heroin you've ever fucking seen.
I love the idea that they're like, guys, we've invented an incredible drug that would kill anybody on this earth. If we climatize people to it and they can get their high on in 200 years, that'd be great for society.
A little treat for society.
I like to think they open it up and it's just a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals.
It's just the T.S. Eliot Book of Cats.
Oh, they're just poems. There's not even music to them yet.
Can we smoke this? I don't know. Snort it?
Imagine that guy prying it open having a heart attack for T.S. Eliot poems.
From Tom Tucker.
God, he's a curious
Oh,
cat.
he's a curious cat.
So pretty much Tim Robbins is saying that whole thing. He's
Yeah,
the
Tim
narrator.
Robbins is like our narrator for some reason because
Yeah.
he barely appears in the movie.
I'm convinced they were like, we need a name. And they're going for the Shawshank Redemption crowd. Kids love Shawshank Redemption.
Top IMDb song. Top IMDb movie. Who wouldn't love Tim Robbins?
I love that they're like,
It's just a get.
they're like, oh, the kids are patient enough to sit through 2.5 hours of a man in prison, occasionally getting raped. He'll be great for this G-rated 90-minute
Romp.
adventure.
Puzzle. It's not adventure, it's a puzzle.
Oh,
No,
God.
they go on an adventure.
I've
This
seen-
is the child's version of Da Vinci Code. Let's
Oh,
just...
Oh.
is that why I love it so much? I love the Da Vinci Code.
I want the child's version of Angels and Demons. I want the good one.
You get Da Vinci Code, you're gonna like it.
Oh,
For
God.
a
At
whole-
least give us an Inferno. Just something, you know.
But so we meet our two main characters. So we have Lena Mayfleet, who is played by Saoirse Ronan.
Oh, and
Do the voice.
and-
Do the voice.
Saoirse Ronan.
She's on the pod.
this next guy's name floored me. I don't think it's... I wouldn't have been listening. It's not said for 30 minutes. And I was... What's his name?
Doon Harrow.
What the fuck is
Spelt
that?
D-O-O-N. So not even spelt the right way.
Hear me out. Do we think the book of Dune and this film swap the main protagonist? Because I will say right now, if his name was Paul, very happy with that. If Dune's name was Dune, I get it. It's just ridiculous.
I thought his name was Dune. I was floored when I tried to read Dune and his name was Paul.
First word, Paul. Paul's arms and spice.
Paul lives in space.
Think about how confused you'd be if we meet our main character, Dune. It's just wild when Saoirse Ronan's like, no, Dune, come back. Dune? Maybe she said dude, and I don't know the
They're
accent.
casual. They're very casual down here. Dude caught on in the last 200 years.
Well, the first thing is they're meant to be 12. Like, she can maybe pass, but he is 17.
He looks 40. He looks so. He looks like a 17-year actor that has already gone through 90 packs of cigarettes. He was
Crow's
pushed-
feet on his neck.
He looks so. They're like, oh, I get put into a job today, and I'm like, now you look close to retirement. Somebody should just let you
They're
die.
meant to be in year 6.
Oh my god.
Because then that's harrowing that, like, Ember needs workforces so much that, like...
But that man should be working. He's a goddamn freeloader.
He should be
freeloader.
working. Here's the thing. I was like, that's a man that's worked every day of his life in the sun. Which is-
Let's be real. The city of Ember is just in the hole in the ground. It's pretty much like thousands of caves.
Let's
They've
just
just got
get
a
it right.
bunch
It's
of
pretty
lights.
much Canberra.
Yeah.
Like that's how they're living.
Flat, a small little section
Darkness,
of
no matter where they go. The lights of Ember are the only lights for miles.
The mayor sucks. That's right. We're coming for you, ScoMo. We know what you're doing. Get your little rations and a boat for yourself.
no, no.
But how much nicer would it be if we had Bill Murray instead of ScoMo?
Oh, how much more fun would it be? There's a scene where he's scoffing down on sardines. Scene of the film.
Real quickly, the book has like a little map because I love a little map in a book.
Oh, he loves a map.
Get this fucking shit. Guess how big the city is.
Oh yeah, you'll hate this.
Like, should I underdo it or overdo it? Where are we thinking?
It's
I'm gonna say it's like 2 kilometers.
it's about a kilometer
No,
by
no.
500 meters.
No, it's 350 meters by 600 meters.
Oh, I don't understand a key. I can't read a key.
I got the ruler out.
So it's like 3 Olympic swimming pools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
By,
when they're
like-
always like, I have to run around the city, it's not a task.
Not a task.
not a
But
task.
but outside looks so vast.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, go to the farming area, and she like jogs 90 k's. She's like, what the fuck is this potato? And you're like, this should be illegal. Like, if there's somebody that's like, I need medicine quick, and it's like, sorry, the message
worry.
is delivering a gag right now.
Gag, damn it. Let's get to the rule. Essentially,
So,
it's
because
like-
they have all the jobs.
yeah, it's like the B movie when they assign jobs in the
Oh,
hive.
these jobs suck. My favorite thing, they're like, pull a job out of the bag. And everything they pull, the mayor's like, that's a good one. You're
It's
important
like
to
crud
the...
picker.
Oh, they're like, oh god, what would we do without crud? It's like, what do you reckon you guys would be?
One's mold scrape. Would all be mold scrapers. Look at us.
You
right
reckon?
now.
One gets
Yeah.
potato peeler, which I think you could get really good at.
I know, but
Like,
you'd
that's
probably
such an
kill yourself.
applied
But at
skill.
70, if you're peeling potatoes for... You're starting at 12. You live to 80.
But my question is, because Lena's grandmother, who she lives with, runs a yarn shop, which is insane. It's yarn everywhere. It's a mess. Did she get assigned yarn? Like, that's my question.
Also, in this like city of valuable resources, who's assigning a yarn? There's limited space. There should be just all food production. That's it.
Do you reckon she's from the time where it's like, you could do what you wanted? And everyone's like, okay, we're all going to contribute. And she's like, I'm doing yarn. I put my hand up for yarn.
And everyone's like, no one's fighting you.
Yeah, fuck. But then the 9th Prime Minister came in and like, there's 9 yarn shops. There's not a single farmer in this goddamn world.
The yarn economy is insane.
I love the idea. It's just like, no, generation to generation, we've made yarn. We can't just become farmers. What do you want? What would the cats play with? Can we? This is like a little bit of jumping ahead. I know that we can get back, but I want to get to it because I don't have a note on it. But I really need to just like call out. What the fuck is this bee thing that he captured? It's like a furry bee.
The moth.
Big moth.
It's giant.
So I got a bone to pick with this one. So
Before we get into this, just real quickly, Saoirse Ronan's a messenger. The young
so
boy,
they all get assigned jobs.
The boy is the pipe dude.
So here's what happened. The boy gets pipes, she's a messenger, and the other 11 kids all got yarn.
Here's the thing, the economy dipped, it's
we
back
see
up.
why Ember is failing.
That's the issue. I thought they opened up the box and a note that just says, don't monopolize the yarn.
Cut down yarn production, it'll be fine.
That's the secret to like prosperity is
I thought,
no
just
more
a tip.
yarn.
It's just tips. They're like, after 200 years, they'll probably need some tips. They'll have lost their way.
It's just like musings of the builders.
Eric did this wicked fart one of the days.
Anyway, going back to these moths.
Why? Also,
These
really
moths.
quickly, why was she late?
Oh, bizarre.
Here's the thing. As a job application, if you're late as a messenger, you're fired. You're fired.
100%.
Constantly, there's very vital notes that need to be on time.
But also, like, I mean, sure, there's no, like, basically, in Ember, the lights come on at 6 a.m. and everyone gets up at that
There's
time.
nothing else to do.
This is what is the
She
entire
she
movie.
was caught in the yarn. She got a web of yarn. She had to get out.
From my point of view of the film, I was just like, do they leave the lights on the entire...
No.
Any time of day, the lights are on. So I'm like, well, you've burned through... Like, this is your fault it's failing. You could have done another 200 years, but you left the lights on 24/7.
It's an energy crisis. Did you turn the lights off?
It's lights out at 10, lights on at 6. So everyone goes to bed at 10 and gets up at 6. So there's no way she's like overslept or something. It's ridiculous that she's late. She's also meant to be like the good girl who's like always doing things right. As if she's late to her fucking assignment day.
It's such like an important day too. Like, this could be the day she finds out she's making yarn for the rest. You only get that feeling once.
Pulling
Her
out that
grandma's
slip
been
of
riding
paper.
that high for years.
Oh
When it
my
says
God.
crud picker, that is the moment you shine.
Why the crud?
I don't know.
They've
I
got
think
so many pipes.
Guys, I'll be honest. We've taken crud from B movie.
no, it says crud picker.
No, that's it does it.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm thinking
joking.
of the Kremlin from the B movie.
The Kremlin.
Yeah, no, you get crud, you got mold, a lot of shit
It's
jobs.
just a lot of shit jobs. But the thing is, my thought of it is that this is the younger generation, so all the good jobs are taken by like the 40-year-olds.
A powerful
I think
metaphor.
that one of the jobs should just be like influencer. You're like, yes, I got it. It's like, hey guys, welcome to my yarn shop. Let's go through all the colors. Aqua, this is the most popular one.
We've really settled in on this yarn gag, haven't we?
I'm big
Is it
into the-
landing?
Let's just say we're knitting. Bill Murray.
So we get to
is
the end of the film.
Bill Murray's the mayor. He's fat.
Yeah, so everyone in Ember is like skinny and just kind of wasting away, but
He's
Bill
a
Murray
well-fed man.
is a well-fed man.
And I'm convinced it's a choice that he only took the job for, like, they say the movie had like a great crafts table. They're like, oh, Bill, we'll have a really good crafts table. And he's like, you don't say.
It's like Ryan Gosling and the Lovely Bones.
He's like, melt me down some ice cream. I'll drink it. Inject it into my body.
I like he's taken all the Wes Anderson films just from the crafts table. Wes puts on
Wes
a
puts out a
spread.
spread.
Oh,
I'm convinced he just saw how many sets they were making and was like, oh, this must be another Wes film. I'll settle in.
Wow, it's very twee over here. I should be here.
He just gets to the end and he's like, wait a minute. Why is there no whimsy? Wait, who's making this?
There's whimsy aplenty.
Nope, it's just twee. It's just bad twee.
There's so much twee, twirl, and twine.
Well,
Yarn.
twine. Well, what annoys me is, so basically after they all get their assignment, Doon is like angry about getting Pipeworks because he wants to help the
He
generator.
wants to lay some pipe. That's the thing. Everybody wants. Like everybody's like, oh, maybe you're fixing pipes, and it's like, no, you're just like the town slut.
Sits in the
Mildred-
square.
It's just that chick that's like obsessed with singing day, being like, I need a fuck.
Oh, you know what? She's like a Christian. Like she's a believer, they call them. So they believe that the builders are going to come back. A believer.
We can only do Justin Bieber songs on
bits.
Song Day.
Well, it's like, so their whole thing is that like the builders are going to come back and save them all. So she's like super Christian, and
But they're just like they're like a half a second of the film. You just see like people walking. It's already good world building because you need to read the book to get it. But there's a bunch of, like,
the world building in the book
There-
is
there-
frustrating to say the least.
It was charming to see so many practical sets.
The production design is amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
the production design is pretty much the only reason you should watch this film.
Absolutely. And honestly, $55 million is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
You got Bill, you got Tim, you got a 3-time Academy Award winning, Academy nominated Saoirse Ronan.
that's right.
Saoirse Ronan.
And she's in the studio right today.
I'm from Dublin.
God, she's great at those two lines.
What we can afford.
But so, like, I have a bone to pick because we go back to Doon's house and we see his dad's kind of like a tinkerer. Like, he fixes things.
Or a tailor.
Soldier?
Spy?
Ooh! But he's made this, like, shitty Rube Goldberg machine
Oh my
to, like,
God.
heat a can of beans. And it's like the city's running out of resources. You should not be making these
This
little
fucker's
toys.
using so much copper wire. I tell you now, the bean can gets lifted. Light bulbs go off. It's
like Hotel for Dogs.
It's ridiculous. At least they have a purpose, the Hotel for Dogs. The dogs are left alone for hours. Tim Robinson's at home all day. cooking scenes.
He's also pretty much like, oh, did you see how I opened that can? That was 1 billion watts.
The energy crisis is just poor management of the energy.
But everything's flashing. He's like, sorry guys, but I did get into a can of beans.
But the moth. Shall we get back to the moth?
I think so there's a handful of things. The moth is only here for this one bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's not more of them. It's giant.
Yes.
He puts it on a leash.
He repairs its wing with shoelaces.
That's lame as hell.
But also, not a thing in the books. They've added that. They've
And the
added
rat?
the mole.
Yeah.
Yep, all added. There is nothing like that.
What?
In the books, he's a bug boy, and all of the people who he works with at the Pipeworks tease him about it because he loves collecting little bugs. But
In
they're
fairness,
little still.
That's kind of
They're
fun.
like this moth that he's saving in the movie is like the size of a small Jack Russell.
Like so, but
A
it's
small
like
it's a small elephant. Dare I say?
no, it's like a
it's Dumbo-ish.
Yeah.
It's Dumbo in
Dumbo-ish.
size.
I'll give you
Yeah.
Dumbo-ish.
I think it would have been I really think it would have been an interesting term for this movie to then just be like a dog's purpose. And it's just the point of view from the bug the entire film, being like, it's Josh Gad's voicing it. Just
Greg
like,
Kinnear comes out of the shadows.
it's just like, God, we've gone through a lot of lives in this town, all from the point of view of Bugsy the Moth.
Oh, but he's so sad because the bug can fly away, but
Is
little old Doon can't.
I'll be honest. Here's my thing. If those are the bugs in the upside world, the normal world, I wouldn't want to leave the town.
But they don't
Terrifying.
know. They don't know that
They're
there's
gonna
another
get
world.
fucking destroyed by like a cockroach.
Ember believes that there is only Ember,
Who's Ember?
like the city,
The city believes.
the Emberians, if you will.
yuck.
Real quickly, what is the book? Because it seems like most of
Oh,
the
it's
interesting
the
stuff in the movie.
worst.
I say interesting. The stuff in the movie.
Well,
Well, so the book is essentially so much world building for a world that I care little about. Like, I love the movie. I detest the book.
really?
Hated it.
What was your favorite thing about the book, if you had to say your favorite thing?
I think honestly, my favorite thing is that I'm now educated about
true.
the lore
In general?
of Ember.
You're qualified.
I've read a book.
I've read a book.
I've lived.
It's going on my Goodreads.
Get a 2. Solid 2 out of 5.
Do your little TikTok book review. They're going off at the moment.
Hey, book talk.
One book. Next one's out a year.
270 pages, knock it over in an afternoon, forget you read it.
It was really, it was just, basically, I was going into it as like a lover of the movie, which has some kind of action moments. The book has none of it. Like, I can't understand how someone picked up that book and was like, we're going to make this a film.
This
Is it
is the
still a
next
puzzle?
Harry Potter.
But so, oh my God. So half of the book is reading someone else solve a word puzzle. I'm not joking. That's half of it. It'll be like 3 little letters together and she's unjumbling it. I'm not even unjumbling it.
This is the thing where it was like when they get the map at one stage in the film, I'm like, you could decode that so quickly. I was like, she would suck at Wordle. She'd be so bad at it.
Oh, we're dating this episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 3 months. So that's
Ever remember
gone.
Wordle?
Guys, we're
still in
we're
it.
paying for it. Wink. There we go.
Hi, this is Carl Oscar and Ruby from the New York Times.
The New York Times is going to buy this podcast. It's
Oh
going to be
my
behind a
God.
paywall
Honestly,
soon.
we get even 3 figures, I'll be happy.
Oh my God.
$1.
we get the-
$1.00.
It's just like one of those things where I was like, I can read the map. I can read. You've been looking at it for a hot minute.
Oh,
I
and
can
she
read.
shows everyone. In the book, 90% of it is her showing it to different characters and going, do you think this is important? And they go, I don't think this is important. She does that to no joke 4 people, and then eventually she shows it to Doon. And Doon's like, you know what, this could be important. And she goes, finally!
Doom solves it. He goes exit.
Yeah.
It's missing an I and a T. He's like, oh, this is easy.
Oh, they dumbed it down for the film, though, because it's egress in the book, which is another word that means exit, but I think they just went, let's just say exit.
I'll be honest, if it was egress, I wouldn't have cracked it. Would not have cracked it.
Here's the
Even
thing.
with all the letters, couldn't have get it.
Imagine being like, society's going to be gone. There's 200 years for them to re-evolve. Egress as a word should survive.
People referring to someone as dude. I don't think egress is getting the right
They're
treatment.
like, oh, they've got kids named Doon. Like they'll definitely be able to handle that sort of a word.
They don't even know what the word boat is.
Yeah, they struggle with boats. And I know they're landlocked, technically. They're in a cave. But sure, there's books, right?
No, so more Ember lore. I'm going to... stop me. I'm not going to
We
keep
need
going.
to give you a little bell.
She's the opposite of a Potterhead.
Ember lore, basically, they when they first sent people down to Ember, they sent 50 women that were 60 years old and 50 men that were 60 years old and gave them each a child, a boy and a girl. They coupled them off. And they told them to raise the babies as if they'd never heard anything from the outside world. So when they all died off, it was this new generation of people who only knew about Ember. Because they thought if they knew about the outside world, they'd want to leave.
Surely that would a 6-year-old raising a child.
Mm.
By
By the time you're 80, they're only 20. 20-year-olds can't run a society.
what
I've
breast
seen Lord
milk
of
are they
Flies.
living off of?
What?
What breast milk are they living
It's
off
dusty.
of?
Oh,
It's dusty.
dusty.
But it gets by.
They're basically just producing milk powder.
Yeah. You get the water, mix it around, nice little tea.
Yum, yum, yum.
So basically, one of the things I think they absolutely gloss over, and I'm interested if perhaps this movie might have been longer and they had to cut it down to
What do you mean? It's a tight 82.
it's so specifically on the dot 90 minutes that I feel like somebody was like has to be 90.
Yeah.
Because there's absolutely no sort of moment in terms of her finding that case. She's like, I've got it and it's open.
Yeah.
It's just because I thought during the time she had it, it would open. But
Yeah.
it's like, no, it's already clocked down.
Yeah.
And she can just open it.
Yeah.
Well, so basically it's a whole thing of her granny's kind of dementia-esque and is remembering that there was something important and she's looking for it for
Why does she
3
get it?
weeks. Basically, the granny's descendant from the junkie
that's
mare.
right, yeah.
I'll say right now, this story could have been finished about 90 years ago if she cleaned up. The
Yeah,
yarn
100%.
is ridiculous. She's a hoarder.
She's looking for it in her dementia state for 3 or 4 months before Lina finds
It's
it.
like the father, but more harrowing.
Give this woman who says I like grapes an Oscar. Posthumous.
Here's the thing: you watch it and you're like, God, get that kid off of her.
The kid always looks scruffy.
Oh
as
my
well.
God! There's a part.
Chewing shit? Ugh, it's
There's a
depressing.
part where they're like, the doctor's pretty much like, oh yeah, your grandmother, she's definitely dead meat. And then like Poppy coughs and it's like, you should probably check her out too. And she's like, oh god, what has she been eating? Pure leather? Oh,
She's
no.
still got pieces of paper in her teeth.
She's got the puzzle piece in her mouth.
The instructions.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
They're basically they're like, oh, where's Poppy? And she's like, I don't know. Follows the Tuan to like the child stuck like on a coat hanger,
spider web.
like just like crinkled up, and is like, and you're like, oh god, Poppy, let her die. Like, what I don't understand is the fact that like, look, at the end it's revealed there is a hole that looks right down onto them.
Correct.
Does no rain or water ever get in?
I think it's like, it's such a small
Well, that
hole
moth
so
got in.
far up. The hole's not in the book. They have to like dig underground to like then find the hole. Whereas in the movie, they just like, there's a massive hole looking down upon Ember.
Do we think it started as a glory hole for the builders?
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
It's kind of shaped like a vag.
That's what's in just directions to find it. They're like, in 200 years, our people will need a good dick sucking. Like,
we get to meet Mackenzie Cook halfway through this film, and he
powerful
is
stuff.
Who?
my favorite.
The man from
Looper
Pirates of the Caribbean. He has the glass eye.
in
Oh, the one that works in storage?
with the
Yes.
with the weird foot.
Would you trust that man with your food? The whole city's food? I would.
He's
God,
definitely
no.
fucking the cans.
Oh, he's...
Oh,
Don't eat the
dick
pineapples.
cut.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
no
much
cum,
pain.
a lot of blood.
Sobbing, tears as lube. Is that a cut? Did I go too
No, that
far?
landed. The can cum cut bit.
I would
always
love
lands.
for when Bill Murray gets inside, he's like, oh, all the food's been fucked. All of it.
The pineapples won't hold.
Because Mackenzie Cook is providing Bill Murray with a stash of extra food.
Is that the whole... That's the whole, like mystery for them.
Well, yeah, so the other thing that we'll get to when we get to kind of the unhingedness of them escaping Ember, a lot of it in the book is just corruption. Like, it's a tale of political corruption as opposed to like almost like a murder mystery of how to get out, an escape room vibes. It's so simple how they get out of the book.
Well, it's also simple, like the metaphor of it. It's just that people are hungry and Bill Murray's eating.
Yeah.
That's all. Other than that, it's not too bad.
No.
It's also, like, in terms of the simplicity, makes everybody that's tried to escape before them idiots.
Yeah.
It's
And there's
like,
people that have tried.
oh, it's like you find out that their two parents have tried to escape.
Go on, I'll cut you off soon.
Oh,
Well,
she's
so,
going to oh my goodness.
but it gets to a point where there's like a boat and it's just going towards like a blender and it just gets crushed and they're like, oh no. And I'm like, is that where their parents like, what did they think was going to happen?
Don't worry,
Like,
something will happen soon.
it's well, don't boat towards the blender. Like,
Don't worry, the builders will help us out.
So it's such a thing in the movie that like her dad died nobly trying to escape Ember and he drowned in the river and like blah blah blah. In the book he died of the flu. He was never trying to escape. Didn't know Doon's dad. It was just died of the flu that was going round.
topical.
Convinced it's like the moth flu or something. Like, it's like swine flu, but Ember.
Don't touch that moth. It's real dirty. You don't know
He
where
fucked the moth.
Fixes its wing and dies immediately. Where were we just before?
We're talking about Mackenzie Cook and the storerooms and Bill Murray and such.
the corruption.
Yeah, look, it's like one of those things where I don't understand why what should have been in that briefcase is simply like a code to get out.
Yeah.
There should just be a hatch and it's like 5 digits.
Yep.
You know?
So convoluted.
Because all it is in the case is one piece of the key card which combines to make a cross.
With the other one that the mayor has.
The mayor has. I don't know why the mayor would have both already.
Well, I think so, because basically the box was meant to be passed down from mayor to mayor. So, like, essentially, on 200 years click by, the box opens up, then the mayor's meant to, like, look at the instructions, because they haven't been chewed up by a fucking toddler. And then they look at the instructions, they go, this is pretty easy.
Is that why the instructions
Yeah,
are...
she chewed them up.
Oh, I thought it was like a
What, so it just automatically opened?
Yeah, so
Essentially when it got to 1.
It opened when it got to 1, it clicked open in her cupboard, because Granny's a fucking hoarder. And then it opened up and the toddler was like, you know what? I'm going to eat this paper. Like, what toddler eats paper? I mean, I'm not a parent,
Classic
but, like,
Poppy move.
oh, scruffy little Poppy. She makes me uncomfortable. I think she should be taken away from that grandma.
She does, thank
absolutely.
God.
Yeah,
The
thank
grandma
God.
does die though, but thank God.
Which they brush over. They're
Yeah.
like, oh,
It seems like it should be
it's-
emotional.
and that's the
moment.
type of thing where I'm like, was that cut? Because I didn't. I was like, oh, they've probably gone to live with somebody else for a little while. Then I was like, oh no, maybe she's died.
No, they go live with the singing lady,
Who is the singing lady? Is she just...
Mrs. Murdo.
But why? What didn't they go and live with like the farmer who's clearly loves
Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like. It's so bizarre. Basically, the singer lady is their next door neighbor, and she starts coming over when Granny starts showing signs of dementia because like Saoirse Ronan is worried about Poppy being alone with Granny because she just keeps forgetting her.
She is just eating anything, so that's pretty dangerous. Yeah.
So she comes over, she starts coming over, and then obviously Granny dies, so they go to live with her because it's like she's already been looking after the Poppy. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Not covered in the movie.
So in the book, how does the mayor die if it's not by a giant rat?
It's a mole.
It's a mole.
It's a mole.
Because I'll be honest, the CGI tentacles the mole has upset it.
So I've written because I got confused because I thought it was a rat and then I thought, oh, it's a mole, but it moves like a seal or a walrus.
Well, it's like meant to be like a blind mole, and it's meant to be like, oh, but he can't see and they're all in darkness. Like, is this a metaphor? I don't know. But so, not in the book at all. They added that for some Hollywood buzz.
So what happens with
Chuck a mole in there, you got yourself okay A-grain stuff.
Tim Robbins had just read The Wind in the Willows, and he was like, we're going to have to add some characters to this.
This is my stipulation.
He's like, can we get like a toad that loves to drive fast? No, I want mole in it.
What about an anxious rat? Is there an anxious rat? No, so basically, in the movie, they finally decode the instructions from the builders, and it leads them to the pipeworks where Doon works. And there's this convoluted situation where they have to pull a thing on the wall, and all of these lockers that the men had been using are actually boats. And all of a sudden they could like start coming along the floor and going into this amazing like crisscross of wires and chains to like bring them to the river that powers the city by hydroelectricity, and they launch the ships into the water and then like go off to wherever. In the book, the instructions, once they finally decode them, it says, if you go down near the river, there's a room full of boats. Ta-da. That's it.
Hear me out though.
But does the mayor die?
No, the mayor doesn't die. Mayor gets no sort of comeuppance.
Oh, I love
Comeuppance.
comeuppance.
Hear me out. This log ride, prime for a universal ride.
Oh, gorgeous.
Sadly, the film was City
They
of
were
Ember.
definitely trying for a ride.
Yeah, but then the film was City of Ember, so they went.
But all they
rats.
gave us was a film that was a ride of our lives.
Oh, wasn't it just?
And that's on the book.
So let's just get to like, so they've escaped, right?
Yes.
And so they're like, now we've escaped, we should bring everybody else up. And so their idea of this.
Oh my god, they can't go back, can they?
No, because the river's so. I mean,
Oh, it's so
could.
Sorry, it's convoluted. It's a log flume. These
it's like
builders are
it's like got like
fuckers.
so many like ups and downs.
Just have some
and...
stairs.
Here's the thing, they weren't builders, they were Imagineers.
If you could smell those caves, they smell like spearmint. It's gorgeous.
But this is the thing. It's so in the book. It's just a river that's
Does
flowing one
everybody
way.
escape with them when they leave? Or
No,
just the
so
two
it's
of them?
still just the two of them because they do it on the Great Day of Singing, which is just to catch you up, a day where the town comes together and sings 3 of their favorite songs.
I reckon they
was-
should have done Lose Yourself.
Oh,
I
that's
was
such a
like,
crowd pleaser, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Like, wouldn't it be good if they did Lose Yourself, Shape of You,
Sweet Caroline.
and only those 3? Who does Sweet Caroline again?
Neil Young.
So here's the thing, he's like, I'm off of Spotify, but I'm in the
Into
city
Ember.
of Ember.
I love these references because again, this.
We're really dating this
Oh, we're
episode.
dating this. Let's just give the date right
Instead
now.
of-
It's the 2nd of February.
Instead of being called Doon, they were going to call him Zune.
I remember that video.
Any
sharing.
Zune fans out there? No?
Soon.
Zoom?
Zune?
Zoom, like the
Like
video.
the video conferencing.
No, Zune was that Microsoft's version of like
The iPod.
of the iPod.
It's
Oh,
2008.
They make a
reference.
gag of it in like the second what's it called? In the second Guardians of the Galaxy. They're just like, here, I got you a Zune. And he's like, oh my god, it holds like 200 songs.
I prefer a gecko phone. I loved them.
They were great. It's like police or mum. That's it. That's all you need.
I feel like that's all you need in adulthood as
I love that.
well.
My mum would have been like, just put police in there twice. You get into trouble, you get yourself out of it.
I think it'd be fun if it was like police or wild card. Like it just rang a random number.
Calls the person that's trying to catch you.
Help, I'm in the closet, you idiot. You moron.
You moron.
We know you in the closet.
We keep getting derailed from the plot.
But
of
here's
this movie.
so we get to the end and they're like, how are we going to tell everybody else? And what's their idea, Oscar?
Okay, so they've gone to the vagina hole.
And they're miles above the city.
Miles above. They look...
Years above the sea.
They look down. All they have is the instructions of a scrap of paper that's been chewed up, and only children. No one solved it. They pretty much
Just derailed it. Oscar's kicked me. I want people to know that that's what's happening right now. He's kicked me from across the table. I don't know if I can recover from this.
I was there now. Carl's foot was sweaty.
Here's
and I'm
who I think will
confused.
watch it.
Next week, we're recording. So, pretty much Sharonan grabs a heavy rock, wraps around the instructions, and just drops it down the hole.
It could kill hundreds. At miles of it would go through a building.
Oh.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do. You got a lot of grass around. You got a lot of leaves. You fashion Poppy to a kite, and then you drop her down, and she whiffs her way down.
Honestly, put the Poppy, like, get Poppy to
Just
hold
drop Poppy,
onto
drop
the rock
Poppy,
and
drop
drop
Poppy.
her
Yeah,
in.
that's right.
Here's my thing. Tim Robbins is narrating as the rock is falling to someone's death.
Yeah.
He's going, it could have landed on a roof, and it could have. Why?
It's them going basically. There's no plot holes because I'm saying what saying what they could be the
Man,
plot
a
holes.
lot of things could have gone wrong, but it didn't.
It landed at my feet,
Yeah.
and I got everyone out. This is Tim Robbins.
It's
Not Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins.
And if you want me to narrate any other movies in the future, you can contact me at 0414.
He's got an Australian number.
Believe it or not, Tim Robbins lives down the street in a little booth.
He should have reacted harshly to that rock. He should. Oh my god!
I'm gonna be killed.
We got a story. That's his story. He's like, a rock. I could have died had I been one step to the left. Oh, what was it? The answer to leaving. That's fucking right.
If
That's fucking right.
there's nothing on the surface, I know Ember's dying and everything, but I wouldn't want to leave.
It's an
I've got a
arid
nice
wasteland.
Bed.
It's an arid wasteland.
They've got
isn't it?
nothing up there.
Give me
Those-
5 days before they eat Poppy. 5,
hear me
maybe
out.
4.
Poppy's chewing a lot of shit. She's gonna die immediately.
Also, I know we've skipped to the end, but can I talk about my favorite moment in the film? Is Lina and Doon are being chased by the mayor's guards for treason because they're trying to spread rumors about him having this secret room and stealing food. So they go to Doon's house where Tim Robbins is found.
Gives a performance
And-
that's Oscar worthy.
The guards say, lead us to him. And he goes, of course. And he walks up to a wall and goes, beep, boop, 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 makes those noises with his mouth and then turns around and goes, ah, onto the guards.
I think the comedy that really sells it to me, I really liked, and and this is what made it even funnier to me, was after he boop books, he turns around and goes like, just give it a minute to open. And then turns back around, and then turns around to roar at them. Like,
Here's my thing as well. The boy's not in the house, so he's not even trying to buy them time. He's just attacked them. He could have just lied. I don't know why.
do we think Tim Robbins improv'd it? Like,
I
it's
hope so.
It's
The give
so,
it, the
it's
give it a
so
minute
unhinged.
is so like out. It's not in the script.
it's like it's genuinely so improv-y. Like, to the point where it's like almost an outtake. Like,
Because the camera's kind of surprised when Tim Robbins jumps at the
That's
camera.
what it feels like in terms of just like a go down there and then turn around and jump on them.
Stall.
But it's him just being like, oh, I'll just go for a little bit extra this time. Like an in-joke with the director. Because if you're the director on the other side shooting that,
Yeah.
that's a big belly laugh. Imagine you didn't tell an actor to do that and they did that. That's fucking hilarious. That's such good improv.
Hear me
That's
out.
the sort of shit that's making the director's cut.
Oh my god.
The director's
There's
kind of
90 minutes.
It's 91
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah. It's Tim Robbins twice doing that. Here's my thing.
Oh, I got it wrong. Beep, boop.
But he's just in that room.
There's
So
no
he-
keypad on the wall.
But no, I know. I know that. We all know
He's
that.
the genius of Tim.
You were convinced by the sound. You were like, but so why didn't Tim go through?
Why didn't it open? He said he was waiting. I know he jumped, but why didn't it open? He
I would
opened the.
prefer if he put his ear to the wall and like a safe coat, been like,
Because got like a stethoscope out.
Oh god, I swear I trapped him in the safe earlier.
It's like my other favorite film, The Borrowers. But we'll get there.
Oh, God, are we going to do your month of just films?
Ruby's unhinged favorites.
They're all very orange, and I hate them all. They're very twee.
This is such a bright film.
It is.
It's
Which
too
is a
bright.
weird... Such a...
I hate how bright it is.
For something that is surrounded by darkness, that's a metaphor.
It's like one of those things where
Stop
it's
saying
like...
that. You don't know what a metaphor
If I
is.
keep saying it, one day I will land upon a metaphor.
One of these will be...
And surely that's a metaphor.
Oh, she's nailed it.
Just keep it in, keep it in. Any final thoughts before we move along?
Look, hated the book. Made me love the movie more because I realized they've made it fun for me. They didn't have this source material to go off of.
You love a live moth.
Oh, the moths, the moles, the Bill Murrays, and the Shershers. What more could I ask for?
Oscar, what about you?
Oh, man, 90 minutes. It feels slow. It's very... The production design's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I just don't know what this is. And it's weird, the book... It seems like the best part of the movies are in the book, so I've got no clue who's reading this book.
Well, I
Was
think
it a big book?
I must have
Harry
been big
Potter
enough for them
level.
to make.
People wanted to be taken to the city of Ember.
They're gonna open a City of Ember at Universal.
Which is the whole...
It's just a dug a hole.
We did the vagina hole first.
Only
with
fits
work-
one person because that's all they think's gonna go.
I think it's weird that there was that craze where they're like, oh, Harry Potter's such a big success. Let's also do lots of YA. And
Yeah.
it's like, but Harry Potter was about a place everyone wanted to go to, and they were like, lots of dystopian futures. Let's Maze Runners. Like it's just
It's
like
always dystopian. No
But
one
this was 2008. This is early for the YA trend.
I don't think it's YA. I think it's like whimsy and children.
No, but it's kind of YA. It's like children can do anything. They can't.
They can't. They're 12. They just can't do anything. They can
But, like-
barely solve a riddle.
The other thing is this.
Here's the thing, I'm not convinced this is what the new Batman film will be.
Paul Dano and the City of Ember.
Batman going around, running around with a little messenger. I've got the riddle. I've got the riddle. 3 hours of that and watch the whole thing.
But the film must have alienated all of the fans of the book because it's such a different.
Just the
like,
word fan of the books is just kind of funny.
Is there any like I can't
Somebody,
imagine.
somebody's gone dressed as an Embionite. And it's like, oh, I'm keen. I got a bucket of popcorn. I got my themed movie cup with Ember on it. I'm keen.
Saoirse Ronan.
I'm keen to see how they flesh out Doon.
The book.
One
Doesn't say
reader.
much about it being a hit. It was published in May 2003.
Oh, real quickly, Tom Hanks produced this.
Yeah, that was a big twist.
Did he?
That's my
Big twist.
final. That's my final thing. I noticed
Big
that in
twist.
the credits, and I went, "Huh." He had a slew of hits with this and the Ant Bully.
Yeah. He was really
Was
trying
he
to...
Ant Bully?
No, he just produced it.
What was his 2000? What? Why did he do 2 children for? Did he have kids? No, he already had Colin.
Convinced he had more
No,
money
he had
than
Chet.
He
Chet
had
Hanks.
Colin and Chet, and the third.
Chet
no
would
one
have
talked
pushed him into doing this. This is a Chet film. Chet's like,
This has got Chet stank all over it.
hey Tom. I said, call me Dad. No. Hey Tom.
Tom.
Have you read The City of Ember? We were just read it in school. Fuck! Oh my god, Tom, it blew my mind. Oh, all right. See you
gotta
later,
get-
Daddy-o.
You gotta get your Tom stank on this. You gotta get your Tom stank on
I
this.
swear to God, Tom, look, here's the thing. I've got your credit card. I bought the rights for you. So if you don't do anything with it, it's just a waste. Anyway, Chet's out.
There's 4 books in this series.
Where does it go after they escape the actual City of Ember?
I tried to read the synopsis of the next one and it bored me. It's called The People of Sparks. And they essentially
Boo.
find a town on
So
the
other
outside.
people had already escaped?
So I don't think humanity ever died. Like genuinely,
Was
I
it
think
just
that's...
radiate? The reason I think that the
It's
rat...
meant to be kind of like a global warming sort of thing of like...
Powerful.
It's unlivable up here. But like, if it's
But
not...
they
because
think it'll climatize after 200 years?
I guess so. Isn't that thing in Wall-E? Like, they can come back.
That was millions of years.
Was
wasn't
it? I thought
Billions.
Trillions. No.
Don't be
No,
silly.
I
Don't
won't.
be silly.
Pixar would never.
No. Not like those filthy dream
It seems bizarre. I mean, the book won the 2006 Mark Twain Award. So what else
Fuck
can
off.
you say
Did
about
it?
it?
No, it didn't. You're
No,
lying.
the
Oh,
Twain.
yeah.
It did
Yeah.
not win
Yeah.
the Mark Twain Award.
And the 2003.
I swear to God, Oscar, stop brushing my foot. I actually can't handle it. It's like, don't touch me.
This is Carl.
Don't-
I mean, honest,
Is this the first time
you're
you sat
hogging-
like against from each other?
You're hogging the middle, okay?
Usually,
You're hogging the
I'm
middle.
tall. You're shorter than me.
Don't tell the podcast listeners. They can assume we're 6'9". That's why I like to
Here's
keep
the
it.
thing: when we usually record, in the past, we've had a giant kitchen bit. Ruby, don't you start. My feet can only handle so much. I get that this is a visual gag, but the audio-wise, you should. Anyway, Oscar, Ruby, who would watch The City of Ember?
Me. I am its target audience. I said it last week and I'll say it again. Me.
As an adult, how does it feel?
Look, it definitely doesn't hold up.
Which is
well,
I wouldn't watch it. Here's my thing. You've raised your review of it from an extra star up. It was a 3 now it's a 4.
I think because genuinely, I hate the book so much. The film deserves an extra star for having done what it did with the source material.
Do you think this is maybe the best film adaptation of a book ever now?
Yeah, and I've seen
Because
all the
they-
Harry Potters.
What a weird flex. Yeah.
Except Goblet of Fire. Never seen it. Skipped that one.
It's-
Here's,
scares
you're
me.
like, here's the thing. I did skip every second one.
I'm afraid of even numbers, and you can't hold me to that.
Love now Voldemort dies.
No
Or
idea who
lives.
Cedric Diggory is.
I think this is a fun kids movie, though. Like, we're adults watching this.
I think in terms of
Like, it's a kids
I
movie.
think it's forgettable.
I think there's better kids films out there that
Of
in terms
course.
No, but that's where it's like when you're like, oh, I'll give it a pass because it's a kids movie, and then it's like, no. There's genuinely fantastic kids movies out there.
Can I counter that, though? I think kids movies have gotten way better as we've gotten older.
I don't think this is 2008. This is like Pixar had been doing good stuff for like years, like kids films.
Yeah,
and
but
like
I'm
classic
not
Spielberg
saying
stuff
this is
that.
like a classic Pixar. I'm just saying it's fine for a kids movie.
The three
Is
of us watched Ants last week, and then we all thought it held up.
Yeah. Oscar loves ants.
You love Ants.
You guys both supported Woody Allen as an ant.
Oh, don't
I
do
didn't.
that. Don't play that card.
Don't
Okay.
do this. Not
Don't
after
do
you
this.
did that pedophile joke in the middle of the podcast.
I support J-Lo and Sylvester Stallone, and that's it.
I support.
What?
She's the female ant.
Oh, before you say those two people that have also been done for rape,
J-Lo also dated her son, and Sylvester Stallone.
You're
She
like,
got Owen Wilson on the set of Marry Me. Dated.
I think genuinely, like the pros of the production design, right? It's so pretty.
Yeah.
no, prose is usually written.
He's got you there.
I'm gonna kill myself. You say prose?
Yeah, prose.
Yeah. As in, like,
Shakespeare
prose-
wrote in
I
prose.
haven't read a book. Okay, I skipped this one.
This is
I
what
read
you-
a book today, so I'm on a high horse.
This is what you get for kicking me.
I think it's super forgettable. Do you not think this is?
I think it's also super. I think
I mean, it's a cliche, but you put it on for children, they watch it, and then it's done.
here's the thing.
But I think that's all it's there for, right?
But is that a pro? Is that a good thing? Someone wanted to make this. It looks like someone put effort into it.
Oh, they absolutely have. Like, it's a nice movie to look at. Like, they've put effort into it.
Here's what I would put in sort of the same vein as it, and that's Hook. And I think Hook is a.
Do you
more,
think?
this is like
Peter
Hook
Pan
to me.
is such a more famous
No, but
tale.
I mean Hook in sense of the fact where it's like I think it's like hollow kid film
Yeah.
that's like a bit of an adventure. It's focusing on like a weird sort of world that you're building.
Yeah, fair.
Like
I mean, I think we can kind of almost like categorize it with a lot of the YA of the time that just like they did shit them out. And apart from Hunger Games and kind of Harry Potter, a lot of them fell to the wayside. Like there was a lot of books out there that were all right enough to get a movie out of, not memorable enough to be a beloved series. And I think City of Ember sits right in that little pocket with your Mortal Engines and your Maze Runners and all of that sort of stuff. I think it does exactly what it's asked to be, which is a fun 90-minute kids film
but
with
do
a
you
bit
think
of a
it's fun?
mystery.
But do you think it's fun?
I think it's fun.
I don't think much
Do you
happens.
not think it's fun?
Not much
I was
happens.
quite bored.
There's no action.
Oh,
there's no
boo.
real action.
Bill
The mis-
Murray's having fun. I liked when he was
and
on
Saoirse
screen.
Ronan. I
well,
get
she's here. Oscar, who do you think it's for?
I think a bored child would probably I think they'd be done with it. I don't think they'd be sitting down to watch it. I don't think much happens, and like it's not.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go nuts.
Do you think I would have as much love for it if I'd watched it as a weekly as opposed to an overnighter?
You're so right. If you actually, who's it for? If you've got a gorgeous little one-day sticker on this bad boy,
Oh yeah.
you're putting this on and you're loving it, just on the high that
The
you know.
high of
that
getting
you
an
know.
overnighter.
Oh god, they're like $6.
God. That's $6.60 where
Yeah.
I was from.
Yeah.
$6.60.
Do you think that's why I have such
100%.
love for it?
Honestly,
Because it was special.
It's ironic though because the film's whole message is corruption, and it just shows that like the corruption of the video store
Works.
It works. It works.
I did also have a massive mole chasing after me.
It's relatable. That's the thing. I don't have that about me.
Here's the thing. It's like but I think what you just said would have an impact on the film because when I got the Master of Disguise as a weekly, it meant that I got to grow with the film over the 7 days. Had it been an overnighter, I reckon I wouldn't have loved it.
So fair.
That
So
fourth
fair.
day, it changes, doesn't it?
Oh.
Oh, you pick up on well, you're like, oh, that was a disguise.
So Carl, who would watch this? Who's this for?
Oh, I mean,
Do you really like it this much?
No, I mean,
sorry,
it's like-
sorry. You like it, yes, but who would you show this to?
would
that's
you
the
want
thing.
to show it to a kid? Would you if you were babysitting?
If I could,
would you
if I
show
had
it
a
to
time
kid?
travel machine back to 2008, yes.
You have a time traveling machine for 2008. The first thing you're doing is grabbing the global financial crisis is around the corner, and you're not slowly up on
This
stocks.
will save it.
The film that's already out. I've got a copy.
I need to get a copy to Wall Street.
What do you reckon you would do if, like, the thing that was going to save the world was you having to single-handedly try and make the City of Ember a hit film? You had to single-handedly try and make it a hit film.
Tom Hanks couldn't do it. How the fuck?
I
would
would like spread the rumor that Tim Robbins is nude in it. I feel like that'd get some hits.
Kids will love that.
Kids love Tim Robbins.
Oh, is he nude in Shawshank? Is
Yeah,
that why it's a
raped.
hit?
a little bit. He
Yeah.
gets a little bit of nude.
That's why it's a hit.
Does he get nude? When does he get nude?
In the showers.
Timestamp to tell me.
He gets look, who's it for? I don't know, monks. Like who I guess it's for, I would say it's for like the 5 to 10s. You know what threw me was that it was like G, and that's what made me think, oh, it's really kid friendly. Like, and that's probably why it's so simple.
If
And
I'm-
that's probably why I can't remember last time I saw like a G film.
Yeah, fair.
Maybe Little Women? I
Look,
don't know. Like,
Who stars in that? I just.
we'll never know.
we'll never
We'll
know.
never know.
We'll pass
Oh,
by.
that's right. Florence Pugh.
Pew, pew.
Florence Pugh.
Look, my thing is as much as I'm a champion for this film and I do enjoy it, on a nostalgia basis, I do think it's for the big W bargain DVD
Oh, The Borrowers, and I want to say.
bin. Stop
like,
just putting my favorite films in there. This
putting-
is a personal
I'm putting-
attack.
I'm
Pick
putting them
one more thing and then I'll decide whether it's a personal attack.
Ants.
You bitch.
Those three in a bargain bin, you can see it.
You
can't
should have
you?
said Ladybird and just hit Cersei twice.
A Sorcerer in a bargain bin. This.
Oh.
The
Lovely
host.
bo-
The host.
Oh, another YA that failed. Shersha's got a type.
Oh, she does have a type.
And then
What
you
happened to Dune?
It's now
You know
a
what's
motion picture.
funny is that in Little Women, she acts alongside Timothy Chalamet, who stars in
Dune! We completed the link, and that's us for today. Shersha Rownan.